August 2015. A remote railway embankment in the rugged mountains of southwestern Poland becomes the unlikely center of the world's attention. Two men, a local historian and a German treasure hunter, have come forward with an earth-shattering claim. Armed with a deathbed confession and a series of ground-penetrating radar images, they say they have found it. The Polish military secures the area. The government holds emergency press conferences. The world's media descends. What they claim to have found is a ghost. A legend that has haunted treasure hunters and historians for 70 years. A Nazi armored train, hundreds of feet long, laden with up to 300 tons of gold, priceless art, and crates of jewels, vanished without a trace in the final chaotic days of the Second World War. For decades, it was considered a myth. Now these two men claimed their radar had pinpointed its location, buried 30 feet beneath the earth. This is the story of the Nazi gold train of WWII, a hunt for a treasure so vast it could reshape economies. But it's also a story that delves deep into one of the Nazis' most secret and horrific projects. And it asks a crucial question. Is a king's ransom and stolen gold waiting to be unearthed? Or is this just the latest chapter in a 70-year obsession with a train that may have never existed at all? To understand the legend of the gold train, you have to go back to the dying days of the Third Reich. By late 1944, early 1945, Germany was collapsing. The Allied forces were pushing from the west, and the Soviet Red Army was a red tide, surging from the east. For the Nazi elite, the end was near, and a frantic panic set in. It's not just to save their own lives, but to save and hide their immense stolen wealth. This was a treasure trove of unimaginable scale. Gold bars plundered from the national banks of conquered nations. Masterpiece artworks ripped from the walls of Europe's greatest museums. And, most horrifically, the personal wealth of millions of victims of the Holocaust wedding rings, gold teeth, jewelry, and family heirlooms, all melted down and recast into anonymous bars of Nazi gold. This vast, blood-soaked fortune needed to vanish, and the Nazis had the perfect place to make that happen. In the Ural Mountains of Lower Silesia, a region that was then part of Germany, the Nazis had been undertaking a colossal, top-secret construction project codenamed Project WWII or Project Giant. It was a labyrinthine network of 7 massive underground complexes with miles of tunnels and vast concrete bunkers carved deep into the hard rock of the mountains. The official purpose of Project WWII is still debated, but it was likely intended to be a new, impregnable headquarters for Adolf Hitler and his high command, safe from Allied bombs. It was also designed to house secret weapons factories for developing so-called wonder weapons. The scale of the project was immense, and its human cost was catastrophic. Tens of thousands of concentration camp prisoners and prisoners of war were used as slave labor, forced to blast and dig in horrific conditions. Thousands perished from disease, starvation, and summary execution. Their bodies buried in the cold, dark earth they were forced to excavate. Project WWII was a fortress of secrets, built on a foundation of suffering. And it was into this fortress, the legend says, that the treasure made its final journey. The story, passed down through whispers and rumors for decades, goes like this. In the spring of 1945, with the Red Army just days away from the city of Breslau, a heavily armored Nazi train was loaded with gold, jewels, and art from the city's banks and vaults. It steamed out of the city and headed south towards the Ural Mountains. Its destination was a specific secret spur of track that led directly into one of the hidden entrances of the Project WWII's tunnel complex. Somewhere between the 61st and 65th kilometer of the railway line, the train entered the mountain. And then the entrance was dynamited, sealed with tons of rock and earth. The train, with its priceless cargo and possibly its human crew, was entombed forever. The few SS officers who knew its precise location were either killed in the final battles of the war or vanished, taking the secret with them. In the years after the war, the story became a local obsession. The new Polish government searched for it. Soviet intelligence searched for it. And an army of private treasure hunters, armed with old maps and rumors, scoured the hills, risking their lives among the unexploded ordnance and booby-trapped tunnels left behind by the Nazis. But no one ever found a trace. The gold train had become a modern myth, a Central European El Dorado. Until 2015, the two men who reignited the legend were Piotr Koper and Andreas Richter. They claimed a dying German man who had participated in hiding the train had given them a hand-drawn map. Using this map, they focused their search on a specific railway embankment outside the city of Walbersee. Their ground-penetrating radar, they claimed, produced an image that was unmistakable. A long, narrow anomaly, buried deep underground, the shape, size, and characteristics of an armored train. They were 99% certain. The news exploded. The Polish government, initially skeptical, was swayed. The deputy culture minister, Piotr Zuchowski, held a press conference, stating he was also 99% sure the train existed based on the radar images. He warned potential treasure hunters to stay away, claiming the train was likely booby-trapped. The excitement was palpable. This was it. The legend was about to become reality. In August 2016, after months of delays and preparations, the official, state-sanctioned excavation began. With the world's media watching live, heavy machinery moved in and began to dig. They carefully removed tons of earth, drilling deep into the embankment where the radar anomaly was detected. They dug for 7 days. They found nothing. No tunnel, no tracks, and no train. Just clay, boulders, and natural rock formations that had likely tricked the radar equipment. The great 70-year hunt had ended not with a mountain of gold, but with a pit of mud. The Polish officials admitted their disappointment. The treasure hunters, Koper and Richter, insisted the train was there, just deeper or a few meters to the side. But for the rest of the world, the spell was broken. The ghost train had once again vanished into thin air. So, does the Nazi gold train even exist? Most professional historians are deeply skeptical. While the Nazis did loot on an industrial scale, they likely moved their wealth in many smaller, less conspicuous shipments. A single, 300-ton shipment of gold on one train seems like a logistical fantasy. A single point of failure that a regime obsessed with security would never risk. The legend is likely a composite, folktale that combines the real history of Project WWII with the very real stories of smaller caches of looted treasure. But the idea of the train persists because it serves a powerful purpose. It is a quest for a tangible form of justice. I hope that the stolen wealth of millions could be found, and if not returned, then at least recovered from the hands of its murderers. It's a classic adventure story, a hunt for a treasure of almost mythical proportions. But in our obsession with the glittering ghost of a train, perhaps we are missing the point. The real, undeniable, and horrific treasure in the Owl Mountains is not gold. It is Project WWII itself. The 7 systems of cold, dark tunnels are real. They are a monument, not to Nazi ingenuity, but to the immense suffering and stolen lives of the thousands of souls who were forced to build it. They are a physical scar on the landscape, a testament to what happens when an ideology of hate is given unlimited power. The search for the gold train brought renewed attention to this dark corner of history, and perhaps that is its true value. It reminds us that some stories are powerful not because they are true, because they point towards a truth that is much harder to confront. The gold may be a phantom, but the evil that created its legend was very real. It leaves us with a final chilling question. In digging for a train filled with treasure, are we distracting ourselves from the far more important task of uncovering the full story of the thousands who, perished in the mountain shadow, whose stolen lives are the only treasure that truly matters? If you are fascinated by the secrets of World War II, you must learn about the mysterious death of Phil Schneider, the man who claimed to have survived a battle with aliens in a secret underground base.